In truth, if I had not received from my very good friend Don Antonio Tovar, the rector of Salamanca University, the suggestion that I should write a form of cantata to mark the end of the activities commemorating the 7th centenary of the foundation of the university, I would never have set my hand to the poetry of Miguel de Unamuno, in spite of considering him to be one of the greatest contemporary poets of Castile. But was it possible to try and fulfil such a prestigious commission, a double honour now, to join together Salamanca and its university with Unamuno? With the greatest respect and the humblest devotion, I decided to approach the verses of Don Miguel. Or, as he might have said rather better, to people the world of his poetry with ghostly sounds. Strangely, though, Unamuno didn't like any arts which dwell in magic castles. And can music be found in them? As far as my powers are able, I have tried to expel them, but I'm very much afraid that a few of those spirits which the bard of Salamanca so feared have, in spite of everything, slipped through my fingers. And so, with that intention, I copied the Ode to Salamanca, which begins, "Tall grove of towers, which as the sun sets behind the oak trees which embellish the sky," and from which I selected some verses. Goodness me, I've never applied myself with such attention and such devotion to the syntaxis and prosody of a text, which I do not normally think about in such a way, as to this one. Don Miguel, this is the best I can do. The elevated nature of the poetry, its noble tone and personal voice, was ideally expressed in the voice of a bass soloist. But at times the verse gives way to a more lyrical form of expression. Oh, those fantasies, Don Miguel. And here I found a way to introduce a 4-voice chorus to add certain elements to the actual situation, celebrations for the ending of an anniversary marking 7 centuries. But how to recall King Alfonso the Wise, the founder of the university? 11 very disparate instruments, piccolo, flute, cor anglais, horn, trumpet, and 5-part strings, introduce, play, and develop a musical phrase in the form of an introit, a Deo gratias, such as God himself might have suggested to the poor minstrel devoted to his arduous tasks. But one instrument hasn't been mentioned, the harp, which punctuates and colours the lines sung by the bass soloist, sustaining it in a mood of austere nobility. Salamanca, the halls of its university, and the sun which lights up the golden stones of its high towers, are saluted by sonorous choral fanfares, which prolong the echoes of those same lecture halls in which the students learnt of love. The cantata opens with what I've called an introit, a very real Deo gratias, that God has allowed us to be part of this commemoration. It consists of a canon at the octave and in 8 parts, although in good contrapuntal theory it should be more. I conceive this introit as a form of minstrelsy, which might have been invented by that master of the organ to whom King Don Sancho entrusted the teaching of music in this university. Purely instrumental music of an intended objectivity or abstraction in sound. The call of the cuckoo, the composer's familiar signature, the sonorous fanfares which salute Salamanca and its halls, or the distant sound of the sopranos responding to the magic of student love, which the harp accompanies with faint reminiscences of familiar music, are decorative elements which complete the composer's intention to evoke.